had a really terrifying experience where the emergency steering kicked in and pulled me into oncoming traffic. If there'd been a motorcyclist or...
That's a fatal.
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome back and welcome to a different flavour video today. I'm here with my buddy Justin. Say hello to everyone, Justin.
Hi everyone.
And we're going to have a chat about his nightmare experience and potentially fatal, we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Potentially fatal experience with his Hyundai Ioniq 5N. You're a bit of a petrol head.
Massive petrol head,
which is why you've bought, in my opinion, the EV for petrol heads.
Indeed.
But you've also got
I've got a fun toy as well. I've got Caterham 420 Cup as well.
So you've got both ends of
I've got the opposite ends of the spectrum, so yeah, it's great.
And how long, what did this replace?
An i20N before that.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's not my first Hyundai, and then before that I had an M5 F90.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice.
So, yeah. Really.
And what made you get the Ioniq 5N?
I went for a day with Hyundai at Goodwood, saw the kind of capability and performance, and just just the fact you could take all your family and everything in it, it just sort of seemed to tick all the boxes.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And this is, you bought this brand new?
Bought this brand new.
We
bought it just before the tax hike, so sort of mid-March this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
And that's all plain sailing?
It was well, when we took delivery, the brakes were replaced under warranty because they were all rusty when the car was delivered.
Okay, brilliant.
But yeah, the first 3,000 miles have been amazing.
Okay.
It's been a really, really good car.
Okay. You say something about they sent you an email with the wrong car or something on it?
Yeah, after the car had the battery fault, they asked me to kind of go back to the original supplying retailer, and they literally came back and said, "Oh, congratulations on the delivery of your new car," which was an N-line Ioniq, and it was like, well, it isn't.
But you'd already had it by then?
I'd already had it in March.
Okay.
So yeah, there was lots of inaccuracies in their message back.
And so we jumped a bit of the story there. You said it went back for new battery.
Yes.
So the big battery pack underneath.
Yeah. So we haven't got sort of full detail cells or the full battery replacement.
Okay.
I haven't had kind of full clarity on that from Hyundai. But
how long was it before it went back?
So it failed in 24th of July.
So you'd had it a couple of months.
Couple of months.
Yeah.
It went. So it was 4 months old.
What did it do? What was it doing?
It just wouldn't. It failed to drive. And
you get in, press the button, nothing.
Get in. Came up with major battery failure. Contact.
Okay, it wouldn't move.
Wouldn't move.
Okay.
So it was recovered to my local dealer.
Yeah.
And then it was sent away to their Tilbury facility to replace the batteries.
And you're still not 100% sure what they did, but you think it was?
Yeah, I think reading online about other cars that have had similar issue, it's sort of battery cells and an ICCU unit which controls the battery.
Okay. And that was all under warranty though?
That was all under warranty.
Okay, okay. And then you got the car back?
Got the car back end of August.
End of August, okay.
Yeah.
So they had it a while?
Yeah, so they had it about 33 days.
Okay.
Really struggled with sort of communication in terms of what the status of the car was, what was wrong with the car. They contacted us while we were away travelling and said, "Oh, congratulations, you're going to collect your car today." And it was like, that'd be difficult. I'm in Spain, so a bit tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, we collected the car back. When I collected it, whilst I'm kind of fastidious of like keeping the car clean and what have you.
Gonna have a little Yaris come past.
Little Yaris.
Hello, my darling. Bless her.
Yeah, I asked them not to wash the car because the car's been PPF'd.
Yep.
And
yeah, because if you use wrong materials on it, it gets underneath and whatever.
Yeah, but the car condition when I came back was horrendous, sort of inside and out, with lots of sort of bird poo and everything.
Oh no.
And it just like it wasn't the same car. And then as I drove the car away, noticed the steering felt a lot heavier.
Okay.
it was sort of tracking slightly to the left.
Oh, what?
Whether that had been from where the car had been transported on a low loader, don't know.
Or where they tied it down, maybe done the tracking.
Possibly. One of the error messages that came when the battery failed was still present, so it was saying windscreen washer fluid, empty.
Even though it's full.
It's full.
Okay.
Bit weird.
And that, but that was okay, and that was still on there.
That's still on there. So not really entirely sure what they've done to the car.
Yeah.
And then I'd agreed to kind of take the car back conditionally as long as I could get the car cleaned and inspected
By your guy.
by a sort of a local detailer.
Yeah.
In doing so, they kind of saw some of the damage that I'd already spotted and some other parts. And then driving over to them that morning, so that was sort of 29th of August, I had a really terrifying experience where the emergency steering kicked in and pulled me into oncoming traffic.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're just driving along.
Nothing in front of me. When I took the car for delivery, they kind of made it very clear to kind of turn a lot of the kind of driver aids off. So I've got a shortcut on the key, so I've always done that since I had the car.
They told you to turn all the driver aids off?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit weird. Okay.
Yeah, so like lane assist.
I mean, we all do it. Like,
we all do
it's
it.
terrible.
Yeah.
My worst is lane assist, when you try and swerve around a cyclist and then it tries and fires you into the cyclist. So that's really a great safety feature.
Great safety feature, but they were kind of saying they are quite obtrusive, so if you don't want it kind of snatching the wheel, and I've had it on other cars in the pause, but you turn it off, but it always resets when you turn the car off.
Yeah.
So I'd got into a habit of that, so it was
so
no
everything
different.
was off?
Everything was off.
Yeah.
Nothing in front of me.
How fast are you going?
About 40 miles an hour.
Single carriageway, dual carriageway?
Single carriageway.
Single carriageway.
Yeah.
40 miles an hour, nothing in front.
Nothing in front, and then it just hard right.
Hard right, like more than lane assist?
More than lane assist.
Really?
Yeah.
So you really had to fight it back, and there was stuff coming the other way?
Stuff coming the other way, but further enough.
So you went over the white line?
Went over the white line and literally almost emergency stopped to correct it back.
So, but you did the brakes. The car did the steering, you did the brakes.
I did the brakes.
And you managed to claw it back on your side of the road?
Yeah.
So if there'd been, like we were saying, if there'd been
a motorcyclist or...
that's a fatal.
Yeah.
Like you'd have been all right in here.
I'd have been fine.
2.5 tons
really safe.
2.5 tons of airbags and safety like features, but someone coming the other way, or in something like my little rubbish, rusty MX-5, you'd have probably wiped out the side of me.
That would have been done. Yeah.
That's okay. Did it come up with anything on the dash?
Just emergency steering activated. But
brilliant.
That's really helpful. But it's like almost like a game of Squid Games. It's sort of like
wow.
But
that. Okay, and then what? You pulled up and stopped. You kept going. Obviously,
I just sort of slowed massively down and was just a bit. And I kind of turned up to the sort of detailers and sort of a bit ashen, sort of, what's going on, and it's just turned right on me, and they were like, "That's not right.
Not normal.
That's not normal.
That's not right."
Left the car with them to kind of do their inspection and the clean, and then I literally brought it back, and it's stayed on my drive.
You haven't touched it.
No.
And how long ago was that?
So that was 29th of August.
So, okay, so like nearly 2 months.
Yeah.
You haven't touched it?
Haven't touched it. I've been liaising.
And why would you?
No, I've just lost confidence. I mean,
like PTSD, like sitting in the driver's seat.
Oh yeah, it was terrifying.
Like without like trying to dramatise it too much, but it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
You're then second guessing what happens if that does that, and you've got kids in the car and you're doing 70 miles an hour,
and we've got
you're going down the motorway, and then it suddenly swipes somebody in the fast lane or something.
Yeah, and you're liable, and there's nothing you can do. And we've got caring for both sort of elderly parents as well, and you need something you can kind of rely on and trust. That totally lost my confidence.
Yeah, So then you brought it home, stuck it on the drive, contacted.
I've contacted Hyundai UK. We'd had kind of dialogue since July when the car first failed. They've been my kind of main points of contact.
Okay. About the batteries and the damage.
Batteries and then the damage after I collected the car.
Yeah.
They then turned around in September, sort of early September, and said, you need to take this up with the supplying retailer of the car and Hyundai Finance, who I financed the car through.
Okay.
But never had mentioned that back in July.
Okay, so they like kind of changed tack a little bit.
And we've sort of almost reset the clock in terms of how we've...
Okay.
Meanwhile, we're sort of we're down to one car.
Yep.
Okay, Caterham's not really practical.
Yeah, no, you can't really get this.
Yeah, for a weekly food shop, and
no, ain't getting your olds in there.
No. Yeah, we've just been starting the conversation again with Hyundai Finance. They're now sending out an independent inspection. Okay. Tomorrow, in fact, to have a look at the vehicle and see what they can pick up.
Yeah. So what damage you got?
So you got the rusty calipers.
But these have been replaced already.
They were replaced under warranty.
And so since they've come back, they've now, like they came back like this from the batteries.
Yeah.
So they replaced when they were brand new, and now they need replacing again.
And they just said, well, they naturally corrode anyway. And I'm like,
well, probably shouldn't be that much.
Shouldn't be that much. Then you've got kind of where it's been sat around, sort of the PPFs.
Oh yeah.
All starting to lift. They've kind of marked the PPF, and it's sort of starting to lift on the piano because it's sort of got full.
That might not come up on this camera, but it's definitely there. I can tell you.
They're kind of chips the door and the PPF on the edge, probably where it's been put onto transport or taken off transport.
Brilliant.
Kind of.
Oh, let me squeeze through there.
Squeeze through there.
Just well I'm thin, I wouldn't have got through there. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's not good. And that is that
as well. Yeah. So just sort of lack of care and attention really, and then sort of.
Yeah, scuffs there.
Scuffs there. Sort of scuffed.
And this is the sort of bloke you're like. You've still got
yeah,
you've still got the protective.
Like that, yeah.
but it's a brand new car, and why not?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got a scuff there.
Yeah.
And you say there's another one in
there's
the footwell?
one in by sort of a wet near the
may or may not see that on camera. And then
when it had the inspection wash, they kind of noted there's sort of etching on the bonnet and the roof.
From what?
From where it's just been badly stored or.
Oh, okay. The trouble is because it's matte as well. You have got to be extra.
You've got to look after it, which was part of the reason for kind of getting it PPF'd at the start, because you can't respray. It's more PPF panels. It's where it's been sat, it's just lifting. And then another bit you probably won't again because it's matte. They've kind of caught.
Oh yeah, there's like a line across there with some damage. Yeah, it's just a bit of a poor show really. Yeah. So how many miles has it done?
3,780.
And then when did the batteries fail?
It's about 3,700. So it's done about 80 miles.
It's done 80 miles.
Yeah.
So but also since you bought it, because it went back for the batteries and now it's been sat, it's actually like not been used more than it's been used.
Correct. Yeah.
And how much was one of these?
Just over 62,000.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really what you want.
But the error message is still there. So when the car turns on.
Low washer fluid. And it's definitely full up.
It's definitely full up. And that was the first error I got when the battery failed. So I kind of came in to power it on, wash the thing, and then the battery light, and you couldn't select drive or anything.
Oh really? So that was the start of the battery fault.
The saga.
And it's still saying it's. So you're not 100% sure if it's even properly fixed.
No.
Well, I mean, clearly there's something not right.
Clearly something not right with it, kind of.
Because it tried to kill you.
Tried to kill me. Yeah.
It'll kill someone else.
Yeah.
So you were doing it all with Hyundai UK, but they're now saying you've got to go back to the dealer.
Yeah.
And did you contact the dealer initially?
Yeah, so I contacted the dealer that supplied the car, and they supplied the i20N to me, and I had no issue with those guys. Yeah. Not really sure why they would have a vested part of it, because it wasn't recovered to them.
Okay.
They were the ones that actually said that I'd just taken delivery of my M-line Ioniq, so I kind of went back to them. And yeah, most of it was, you'd need to go back to the recovering dealer or Hyundai. So everyone's kind of
just passing the buck
and pointing fingers each way. So yeah, very frustrating.
Yeah, and so for nearly 2 months you're paying finance on a car that you're not touching.
Yeah,
that's really bad.
Yeah.
And like we were saying off the camera, you've had troubles with BMWs before, and
it's fixed, but you still keep that dialogue with the customer services, even though it was financed through BMW Finance. I went, won't hide that. But yeah.
What's kids screaming over the park?
Kids.
It's playtime. It's playtime. It's playtime over the park. And so what? What do you want? Like what? I mean, personally, I would probably reject the car.
I mean, yeah, but when the battery failed, I wasn't expecting to call on warranty then. The added, serious safety flaws since the car's returned and the damage, I've just lost confidence.
Yeah.
I think in the brand and this car. So yeah, it's the rejection is still the kind of the first port of call. We just need a car we can rely on as a family.
Like for a safety thing, this is like we were also chatting about this off camera. All these safety systems that are now in modern cars.
Yeah.
If the computer says, do you know what I mean? There's infrastructure in this car and a lot of modern cars for lane assist that the car can grab the wheel and keep you in the lane, but it can also steer you quite aggressively out of the lane.
Yeah.
And like my rubbishy old car hasn't got that feature, it will never try and steer me into oncoming traffic. But all the modern stuff now with lane assist, if the car decides you're going to go somewhere else, then you're going to do that.
You're off.
With all this safety stuff that's all computer controlled, if the computer has a malfunction, like
you're powerless. And they're weighing, because cars are weighing a lot more now as well.
2.5 tons, and the computer decides your computer says no when we're going over here.
We're going into the trees, and
that's where you're going.
Yeah.
And then some stuff now I think it's the I think is it the Cybertruck, when the engine's off, the steering wheel, you can literally spin it around and play computer games. So there's no physical connection between the steering wheel. Yeah. So you could have it so the computer just suddenly go, oh no, you've got no steering, and fly-by-wire brakes.
Yeah.
All the time, it's the same with anything. All the time it's working, it's good. At the moment, it's not.
It's not.
And I just think,
go back to basics. I think.
Yeah. So there you go. Thank you, Justin. It's a big old car.
It's a big old car. Yeah.
And watch this space. Leave a comment in the comment section if you've had similar experience or you've got similar worries or etc.
Yeah. Let us know.
Let us know. Like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. See you on the next one. Do us a favour, just have a look in the back and make sure that I'm in frame. Hopefully you see all of me. It's always the worst bit, because as soon as I press record, my mind goes blank. But it's always the way. Loads of space and space above me.
Yeah. Just creeping the top now.
How fat do I look?
How fat do we all look?